in the 100 meters back, which will happen in a couple of days' time. But for today, Jungwon will play second fiddle to his sister, and he'll be more than happy to play second fiddle to Quah Jingwen. She'll always look back at this race, the 200 meters butterfly. I remember back in 2011 when I was calling on Joe Schooling in the 200 meters butterfly, and he qualified for the Olympic Games in Palembang. The words were "A star is born," and you can say the same again for this lady in the same event, the 200 meters butterfly. Quah Jingwen, a new star in women's swimming in Singapore, certainly was born here in KL.
Exactly. I mean, I really like this is only her second SEA Games. She didn't, obviously she was 15 years old at the last SEA Games. I think she wasn't expected to medal, but when she walked out for a race, she looked so confident. She looked like she was having a good time. She was smiling. She was waving at the crowd. So I just like the way that she's doing it right now, right? I can obviously tell she's having such a good time, and that's not something that you can really be trained, right? You just basically go out there, be confident, make sure you have fun. You know you're putting in all the hard work. Now it's just the time to execute the plan that you and your coaches have come up with.
Well, there she is, right in the middle of the medalists, where she always dreamt of being. She's always said throughout her life that her barometer has been her sister Quah Jingwen, what she's been achieving. And after a while, she decided, no, that's not going to be my barometer. I've got to be my own lady if I'm going to race against the world-class swimmers. And she has certainly broken out of that shell. And tonight is the night where she can safely say, I am my own lady, because she has won gold in an event where her sister came in second in the past two editions.
She has the chance to be a double gold medalist today.
Absolutely right. Patarawadee with the bronze medal yet again in this event. The lady who broke Thao Lee's 4-win streak sequence in 2013. National record holder. In fact, 2015 was the first time in 4 games she did not podium, but she's not going to make it 2 in a row, because she does make it on the podium at the expense of Nguyen Thi Vien.
Silver medalist from Vietnam.
Well, there is a Vietnamese on the podium, not the one we expected though. Le Thi Mi Thao with the silver medal.
You could be seeing a next generation of swimmers, young swimmers coming out from Vietnam as well again, right similar to what you're seeing in Singapore.
Absolutely right. You just need one there to give you the aspiration, and Nguyen Thi Vien has been a real inspiration to all Vietnamese female swimmers.
And SEA Games champion from Singapore, represented by Quah Jingwen.
She'll remember that announcement for a long, long time to come. Well, as I said at the last SEA Games, before Nguyen Thi Vien's insane swim of 2:11.12, no one at the SEA Games has gone below 2:13, but now in 2 editions we've had 2, and we're glad the second one to do that is a Singaporean, and that person, that lady, is Quah Jingwen. Moment for Quah Jingwen as she holds back her tears of joy to the national anthem of Singapore. Minister Grace Fu is there as well, along with Lee Kok Choi, president of the Swimming Association, and he doesn't mind making the trip up again and again just to present gold medals for Singapore swimmers. But this was a very, very welcome gold medal, wasn't it, Gerald? Because I think a lot of people were keeping their eye out on Tian Vien, and Quah Ting-wen just judged this race to perfection.
Exactly. I think everyone thought this was again Vian Tian's race to lose, right? Given how dominant she has been in this race and in a lot of other races as well. I mean, she's obviously a lot more experienced than Ting-wen. I mean, Ting-wen was the outside smoke, outside consideration for this event. I mean, when we were talking to Gary Tan, who's the national head coach this morning, he wasn't expecting, he was hoping that Ting might win this race, but he wasn't as confident that she would do it, right? But I think she executed her race perfectly. She took the first 100 out very quickly. Vian Tian followed her, and obviously on the third 50, that's when most swimmers tend to hold back a little bit of their energy, is the third lap before they sprint the last lap again. But Ting-wen just continued with her momentum on the third lap and just totally brought Vian Tian out of a game, right? And the last 50, I mean, she was so far ahead that no one could catch Ting-wen.
Well, with Nguyen Vian Tian, I don't know about this, but maybe you can check with your good friend Gary about this. If he had seen the heats this morning, and I was talking to you about it, in the 100 meters backstroke, Vian Tian actually looked pretty tired at the final 25 meters of that race, where she just drifted out a little bit after leading for most of that. I know it's the heats only, but she really just looked very, very tired coming home. And recently at the World Championships as well, she was complaining of a little bit of a virus, so maybe she isn't in the best of conditions coming into these SEA Games. And if Gary had seen that at the 100 meters backstroke, perhaps that's a ploy and the plan for Ting-wen to say, hey, go out, let her chase after you.
Exactly. I think the plan was to go out, attack it, let her try and follow you if she can, knowing that she will probably suffer in the second half of the race, right? So, and you saw Ting really take it out the first 2 laps of the race. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the next race, though, the 100 meter backstroke, where An Tian is again in that event, right?
Yep. But you have to give credit to Ting-wen as well, because after 100, she took it out as much as she could, and Tian Vien was still with her, in fact leading after 100 by 0.01 seconds. Instead of just dropping her head, Ting-wen actually made perhaps the best of those turns at that 100 meter mark.
She did. I mean, she had such an amazing turn. So obviously Vian Tian touched first at the 100 meter, but on that second turn, after the underwater kicks, you saw Ting was way ahead of Tian Vien, right? And she really just continued on using her momentum, bringing just not letting her foot off the pedal on that third lap. And I think that's when you really saw Vian Tian really, I think she might have given up on that third 50 as well.
And probably saving herself for the 100 meters backstroke, which is uncharted territory for her, as we have a look at this swim once again from Quah Ting-wen. And what a celebration it was too for Ting-wen. The moment it touched the wall, she looked up. She should have known already heading into the final 25 meters, but she was taking nothing for granted. And that wonderful emotion-filled face, at least she was trying to hold it back. She really was trying to hold it back, but it was a special, special moment for the Quah family, especially for first-time gold medalist Quah Ting-wen.